Welcome back, you guys, to my podcast, Danielle's Let Your Voice Be Heard. This is a space where real stories meet real voices. And today we are on episode 2, season 2, with Miss Felicia Carr. She is going to tell us a raw, inspiring, and a survival that she came up out of, and now she's helping other women with their healing process. So I'm going to let Felicia give a little bit about her background, and then we'll dive right on in.
Hey y'all. So my name is Felicia Carr. I am the author of I Survived My Narc, The Great Escape. I am also the author of Understanding Mental Health and I Am Free, which is a journal that I just came out. All are available on Amazon. My book, I Survived My Narc, it shares the story of how I left my narcissist ex-husband while he was at the dentist and lived to tell about it. Yes.
Yes, y'all. So this book is on Amazon. Go on Amazon and get it. It is a book with Felicia's story and five other women. Mm-hmm. And Felicia's is the first chapter, her great escape, which we're going to just dive right into. And as you can see, you guys, I have highlights. I have questions. And we're going to get down to it. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you guys about her other books, because mental health is another big one.
Absolutely.
And your journal.
Yes, I'm finally free.
Yes. So, Felicia, before we get into it, I kind of just want to let the people know that she's a certified healing coach. She's an author of 3 amazing books, my Felicia Carr collection. And she is blessing other women and teaching them how to heal for those that have left and trying to survive their process. So we're going to just dive right into it. I got dates. I got questions. I just need some clarification now that I got her here. In person. So Felicia, let's start off.
Yes.
So you were the only girl. You grew up with 3 brothers?
I grew up under 3 brothers, yes. Me and my youngest brother were 10 years apart. So they were big kids when I came along.
How was that?
It was interesting. It was interesting. Like I said, my youngest brother was 10. So 10, 11, and I believe 13 were their ages when I came along. So things changed, and then here I am, this girl coming into this world, and they're used to dealing with all boys. So yeah, so it was. I'm glad I grew up that way. I'm glad I grew up under 3 brothers because it gained me up a lot.
Did it help you with your process of escaping, do you believe?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I wouldn't have grown up the way that I did, I wouldn't have been able to leave in the way that I did. Wow. Yeah. Woo. Absolutely. Whoa. Yes, that helped.
So we're just going to take it back a little bit. So we're going to go back to 2015. So I'm going to have her give a little bit of background about what happened in 2015 that kind of changed her life, or that started the process of changing her life.
January 2015 is the month that I thought I found the love of my life. Unbeknownst to me, he was not, but it's okay. It was a learning lesson. But yeah, but January of 2015, yeah, I thought I found the one. I found the one.
So, like, where did you see him at? Like, where did you guys meet?
So we actually went to high school together. So the funny thing is, a couple of days before I saw him in person again after high school, his cousin had made a post on social media. And so his cousin was being funny. And so he was like, he's called himself auctioning off his cousins, right? So he was putting his handsome cousins on social media. So I made a comment. I said, well, he gonna have all the girls bringing their milkshake to the yard, right? Not knowing what was gonna happen.
Right.
So maybe about a week after that, I saw him in Jeffries Club in Oakland.
I remember Jeffries.
And I passed by him. He spoke. I spoke. I didn't know who he was at the time. And someone else told me who he was. I was like, okay. Didn't go up to him. He didn't come up to me. And maybe like 3 days later, he inboxed me.
Oh, wow.
And then the rest is history.
It is a difference between the high school you and the grown you. And we're going to dive right into the grown you.
Yes.
And find out what happened.
Yes.
And we're not going to tell too much, because I want you guys to go out and get the book. So, yeah, we're just going to do dates. so that you guys, when you guys get the book, you can be looking for those dates, because everything that she's talking about from the dates that I'm referring to is in the book, but it's more thorough in the book. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to take her back to September 2017 when it all started.
Yes, September 2017. September, I went on a trip to Dubai with my cousin.
Mm.
And so when I went on that trip, as soon as I landed, him and his oldest son got into a fight. And when, he was calling me, I finally was able to answer. And he basically blamed it on me because I was not there to defuse the situation. So he gave me hell the whole time I was in Dubai. So that's the brain of a narcissist. Nothing is ever their fault.
And then they don't want you to enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm. Because they're not there. They want to be the center of attention.
Oh my God. So as soon as you land, you're getting these calls, you're getting these texts, you're getting, it's all your fault. You left, you're gone. Now me and my son has got into it. Now I want your trip to be miserable.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So when you got back home, it continued.
So now when I got back home, that's when he wanted to get married. That's when that started. So we had spoke about it just a little bit here and there because at that time we had been together for 2 years.
Okay.
So things were going great. So okay, we were living together at this time. We have combined families. So I mean, why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So why not? Things were great, but things were not. So that's what so we picked a date. It was a random, I believe it was a Tuesday, October 24th, 2017. And so we picked the date, we sent out the information to our family. We each invited 6 people per side and then they could bring +1. But I was sitting there, I was like, October 24th, like, what is this October 24th? Like, this date, something happened on October 24th. Then I knew my father died in October, but some things trauma, you kind of, push to the back of your mind.
Right.
So I said, let me go get one of his obituaries. And true enough, October 24th is the day that he passed, 2015.
Her dad was like, Felicia, I'm trying to tell you.
Right. Dumbass. This is way including himself in my day. Like a nut. Wasn't thinking. Was in love, but it's okay.
It's a lesson learned. A lesson learned. Her dad was like, I'm going to tell you something, Felicia. The date.
Right.
The date.
Don't do it.
We all go through it.
Right.
And then you probably would have changed it, or you probably would still go through it.
Yeah. I mean, either way it went, no matter what date it was, the outcome probably would have been the same. So it didn't matter.
I love the pictures when the guy that put your story out there the other week.
I was
like, oh, yeah. And you can help him out, recognize some of his ways.
Exactly. And he's actually like, I always get slack from men saying that I hate men. And I don't hate men. I just hate abusive men and I hate narcissists. Well, hate is a big word. So let me not say hate. I dislike. I do not like abusive men and I don't like narcissists. But I love men. Men are the best. I love men. But okay.
She loves men.
Yes.
And she's not just talking about men because some women are narcissists too.
Yes. And
so it can be vice versa.
Yes, absolutely. Women can be narcissists.
Exactly. And this young man that posted her video, he explained that, hey, wait a minute, I used to say and do that to my ex. And sometimes we do it unknowingly and don't even know we do it. But when you know you're doing it and you continue to do it, then it's an issue.
It's an issue. When it has been brought to your attention and you just disregard what the person is saying, you just don't care.
And since Felicia is the life coach, I'm going to have her explain what a narcissist is for those of you that may not know what a narcissist is, because I didn't really start knowing what a narcissist is probably till about a couple of years ago. And then I finally started understanding what a narcissist is when I was reading and hearing about Felicia's story. And I started to get her books. And I'm like, wait a minute, have I ever dated a narcissist? And I started looking, I'm like, wait a minute, check. Then you have to question yourself. Am I a narcissist in relationships as well? So I'm going to let Felicia explain what a narcissist is for those of you that kind of know what it is and don't know what it is. And if you want to take notes, so get your pen and your paper so that way you can see if you're with a narcissist or are you with a narcissist.
Right. So there are several different types of narcissists. There's covert, there's grandiose, there's malignant. So I would say he was a little mixture of all of them. But a narcissist is someone who does not take accountability for any of their actions. They always blame others, no accountability. Nothing is ever their fault. They have to be the center of attention, depending on what kind they are. They have to be the center of attention no matter what. It's all about them. It depends on which kind you are, but it's narcissist there, and it's actually a personality disorder. A lot of people do not know that. So it's called NPD, narcissist personality disorder. So it is actually a clinical diagnosis. Yeah, it is a personality disorder. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
And so people always say, how do you know he was a narcissist? Well, we went through 3 counselors. So we went through a man counselor, we went through a woman counselor, and then after I left, I agreed to go to counseling with a couple. It was a marriage therapist, and 2 of the counselors said that he was a narcissist. So this isn't just something that I'm making up. These are trained professionals who said this is what he was. So.
Licensed professionals that diagnose this.
Yes.
Do they have medication for narcissists?
No.
So what are some of the therapy for them to recovery?
Awareness, change. So like I always say, Lee Hammock, he is on TikTok, and I followed him and I just studied him. He's actually a narcissist. His wife left him. He got therapy. He still goes to therapy, and he's in extensive therapy, and it has really helped him see what was going on. So now he teaches other people about it. So yeah.
Wow. So it's being aware, you guys. Yes. There's no medicine for it, but it's awareness. How are they able to hold a relationship? Like,
it just depends on the person. The person that they're in a relationship with. If they're willing to deal with all of these toxic traits, then yeah, you can last forever. But if you respect yourself and if you love yourself enough, you're not going to just deal with it.
Right.
It's being with a narcissist is no fun. Ugh. It's no fun, especially when they don't want to get the help.
Wow. So I know in your book you talked about in 2019 there was a little bit of controlling with wanting to extend the family of having more.
Yes.
So that was part of a control issue, huh?
And I had to realize once I left, it didn't have anything to do with a baby. It had to do with that attachment. He knew that I would be there forever.
Wow.
So after we got married, my daughter was 19 when we got together. So I made it very clear I didn't want any more kids. I was done. I took several steps back to help him raise his 4. They ranged in age from, I believe at the time, 14 to 9. 2 boys, 2 girls. So, I took several steps back to help him with his kids. And, I made it very clear I didn't want kids anymore.
Right.
So after we got married, of course, the mind game started. And he, started to play on me. So, what woman wouldn't want to have a child with their husband and this and this and that. So, okay, let's try. Mm-hmm. So we tried. We tried IUI. That didn't work. That wasn't but God. So then we went to a reproductive clinic. And so they ran all of these tests. And they finally told me, because I was, I believe, 40 at the time. 41. Right. So they told me, you will not be able to have any kids naturally. If you want to have kids, you will have to get a donor egg. So you'll have to get a donor egg, go through this list, and use his sperm to fertilize the egg. So I'm like, I don't want no baby that bad. It's okay. Like, that's not going to be my child. Right. If you DNA test this child, it's not going to come back to me. Like, no, right. I'm basically a surrogate. And I had to tell him, like, clearly you want a baby more than you want a wife. Because your wife is telling you this is not what she wants to do.
Right. Control your body.
Yeah.
But like she said, it was a mind game. Yeah. And he was trying to see how much of control he had.
He knew I wouldn't be able to leave in the manner in which I did if I would have had a baby with him. Ooh. But little did he know, him and that baby would have got left.
Right? Go back to the original mama. I was just a surrogate, okay?
Right. Him and that baby would have got left. And I'm serious. Both of them.
Oh, my God. But she really did. She really did do the wifely duty.
I tried.
I'm going to try.
I'm going to work it out. Yeah. There were some boundaries that I had to draw that hard line. Like, no, I'm not comfortable doing this. Right. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Oh, my God. Like, are you guys following us out there? Are you guys going through this? Does this seem to resonate with you? Some of these stories that she's putting out here? Like, if it is, y'all better write it down.
Right.
Y'all better go to Amazon and get the book. I'm going to have the link below.
Also, you guys can get a signed copy at the Healing Circle or .com, and you'll get a signed copy.
Yes. And before she leaves, I got to get her to sign my other 2 books. There was a couple of words that I noticed in the book: manipulation, checked out, and control. Mm-hmm. So how did those 3 words play?
Manipulation. He played on emotions. He played on my just me being a good person. He played on me just period, just as far as how I was as a person. Narcissists, they go for empath. So they go for people who are really caring, who, have empathy for others. Narcissists really don't have empathy because it's all about themselves. Once I came around and once we started hanging out, it was like, okay, I got me one.
Okay.
I got me one. The control, he tried to control where I went. He tried to control where what I wore. Like, I started to notice that it was isolation. I no longer hung out with my friends and my family like I used to. Like, I would be at everything, all of the kids' birthday parties, just being there for support. And I noticed that once I got with him, he took up all of my time. And it wasn't really that he took up my time because he wanted to be with me. He just wanted to see what I was doing 24/7.
Right.
So I no longer, was like, not saying I wasn't able to, but if I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going through that. Oh, I had something planned for us. So it's like, okay, well, this is my husband, or this is at the time, my boyfriend. So, okay, I'm going to hang with you today.
Right.
But then I noticed that I just totally, it was a lot of people that I lost contact with.
Did they try to warn you, like, girl?
No, nobody knew.
Oh, wow.
Because by the time I figured out what narcissism was, it was a new word for us. Nobody really had heard about it. So, it was just like, nobody really knew.
Yeah, because I didn't know what it was until you started really like, oh my God, this and that. And then I was like, wait a minute now.
And I had to do my research. Like I said, a friend of mine, she was going through it. And she gave me a book to read, Becoming the Narcissist's Worst Nightmare. Ooh. And so when I read that book, I said, okay, all right. It gave me clarity on what I was really dealing with.
Right.
So that's when I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. And it's crazy because narcissism has been around for many, many years.
But they just never really talked about it, huh?
Right.
Did they break it down to like what culture it's in or it's found in?
So most, unfortunately, white people knew about narcissism. They could relate more to it. It didn't come into the Black community until probably maybe like 2019.
Do they have different type of age groups? Like no. The older you get, or
so normally a narcissist can be formed by having a parent or parents who just gave you the world, who set you up on a pedestal, who made you feel like the world is yours. Nobody can say no to me. Anything that I want, I'm going to get, and I'm going to have it by any means necessary. Or it can be formed by having a parent or parents who really didn't provide, or who really wasn't there for you in the form in which you needed them to be.
Right.
So once you get something, it's mine. Oh, it's not going anywhere.
Wow.
It's mine. No matter what it is, it's mine.
And that's what he was trying to say.
Oh yeah. Once we signed those papers, I was no longer a person. I was his property.
And that's when we leave 2019 and then we come into COVID. So everybody knows COVID, everything was shut down. Everybody had to stay at home unless you had an essential job. But you had to stay at home.
So at the time when COVID hit, I was actually working in Oakland.
Okay.
So I was out of the house, but COVID hit, we shut down, we started working from home, and that's when it was like, okay. But prior to that, I was on my way out because I was mentally checking out. I told him when I was mentally checking out. I told him when I was falling out of love with him. I told him when I was no longer in love with him. I told him when I was no longer sexually attracted to him. So I told him every step of the way on where I was mentally, but he didn't listen.
So he was just like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
And then I saw like in one point of the book, it was like whenever he knew that you were like that, he would buy you the stuff that you love.
Mm-hmm. So I'm big on flowers. I'm a simple person. I love fresh flowers. If you go to Walmart, anywhere, and if you see some flowers, just bring you some flowers back. But in his mind, that was fake. I got flowers on if it was Valentine's Day, my birthday, anniversary, or if we had like a big argument.
Dang.
It was never I see these flowers and I know that you like this, so I'm gonna get them for you. It was never that. Ooh. In his mind, that was fake. Oh. And he told me that.
So when you were checked out in 2019 and then you started working from home and then the both of you guys became closer, like being in the same vicinity for that long, Did it really bother you?
It did.
Or did you just was like, okay, let me just deal with this because I'm working on a plan right now?
I didn't realize at the time how stressed out I was, but I had a friend of mine. She came to my house to pick up something. And so, you just getting up in the morning, you getting dressed, you throwing on a t-shirt, jeans, or whatever. And I opened the door. She said, why do you have on those big ass jeans? Right? And I looked down and I'm like, damn, they are pretty big. But I was just in just go mode. Just get up in the morning, do my work, do what I have to do, just so I could just make it through the day. And it was at that point I realized, I didn't even realize I had lost as much weight as I did.
Yeah, you did drop.
Yeah. I didn't realize it. And it wasn't until she said, why are you wearing those big ass vests? In the mirror, and I didn't recognize the person that was staring back at me. Because I had been used to looking at myself with a full face. Mm-hmm. And at that time I had lost so much weight. My face was so slim. And it was like my father was looking back at me because he had a slim face. Yeah. And that was the first time that I realized, dang, I look like my father.
He was like, Felicia, I'm coming to you again.
Right. Wake up. But yeah, I did not recognize the person that was staring back at me. I was in survival mode. I was literally in survival mode. I had to do whatever I had to do to make it through the day.
Right. Mm-hmm. In 20, you moved
to Texas.
She moved to Texas. How did that work out? Like moving from one state to
I didn't want him to come with me to Texas. I didn't. I was done. And so May of 2020, I actually had so we were still in California, May of 2020, and I had got me an apartment in Castro Valley. And so I was moving out. He didn't know. And so I ended up having a conversation with him, and I told him, I'm not happy, like I don't want to do this anymore. But prior to that, I had been telling him that. And that's when he found the first counselor, the first therapist.
Like you said, you're mine. I'm holding on to you.
Mm-hmm. So he found the first therapist. It was a Black guy. He talked to me first, or he talked to us individually, and then he brought us together and talked to us. And during the conversation, the man told him, he said, brother, you're going to lose your wife. He said, I've been doing this for years. He said, and every time I start a conversation, I start off by asking the man, how's this relationship been for you over the last however many years you've been together? He told us a story about him doing therapy with a couple. He asked the man, how has the last 40 years of marriage been for you? Man, it's been great. It's, best 40 years of my life. Da-da-da-da. His wife is sitting on the side and crying. So he asked her. She said, it's been the worst 40 years of my life. She left him that night. So whoever you are, I cannot remember your name. So if you are out there and if you remember this, please get in contact with me because I do not remember who the therapist was. It was a Black guy. He was out of, I believe, Antioch, Pittsburgh area. But yes, please get in contact with me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And she left him that night. And this man, he told him, he straight up, he said, brother, you're going to lose your wife. And after that, he didn't want to talk to him anymore. That was the last time we talked to him. And so after that, I said, okay. I said, I'm going to try. I'll pick the person this time. I'm going to try a different approach. And I picked a lady therapist. We talked to her. And he said something so crazy. And she laughed. And she said, I'm so sorry, Mr. Carter. She said, but that was so unprofessional of me. She said, I wasn't supposed to laugh like that. She said, but you have a very twisted way of thinking.
Woo! If a therapist tell you that, you got a very way. Special way of thinking.
She said, you have a very twisted way of thinking. And I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy because they will make you think that you are crazy is all outdoors. Like you will second guess everything.
So after hearing her say that, he just still was like, well, I don't want to go to therapy anymore.
No, that was it. He didn't want to talk to her no more. So I continued therapy with her.
Wow.
And so he told me, he said, I don't need therapy. I'm fine. He said, you can continue to go. And I told him, I said, I'm going to counsel my way right out this marriage.
Oh, what did he say, Felicia?
Nothing. Sure did. I said, okay, I'm going to continue to go, though. And I kept going. I kept going for years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to counsel my way right out this marriage. And I did.
I think that gave her the tools, too, you guys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
To keep going because she probably was gaining things that she didn't even realize she was gaining to help her for this great escape, which we're going to get to.
Yes.
But I love this saying that Felicia says, fat meat is greasy.
He didn't think fat meat was greasy, and I had to prove to him that fat meat was definitely greasy.
Yes. Felicia, what made you say that?
So, And I believe this had to be like June of 2021. We were in Texas. So me, him, and his youngest son, we moved to Texas together. At this time, his son actually moved back to California because they got into a fight. So he went back to California, and we were standing in our room. I always say we were standing in our room arguing. No, we weren't arguing. He was arguing and I was listening. And I used to always say, I'm done being done.
Right.
My cousin, she gave me an amethyst necklace. And I will never forget, I was holding on to the pendant part. And I closed my eyes. And I said, God, if you allow me to get out of this, I promise you I'll never go back. And I opened up my eyes and I looked at him and I said, I'm done being done. And he looked at me, he said, your ass keep saying that you done, you ain't left yet, you still here. Sorry. Checkmate. Nah. And in my mind, I'm like, now I got to show you the fat meat is greasy.
Right.
And from that day forward, I never said it again, but I started planning. So the next day, I was just like, okay, I have to do this. Right. Because it's not going to get any better. Because he thinks I'm never going anywhere. The treatment will never stop. There, I have to go.
Right.
I got to go. So then that's when I started planning. So this was, like I said, June. Our lease was up the end of November in the house we were in. So I was like, okay. I was like, what date am I going to do this on? I was like, December 1st. That's it. I was like, I don't want to go into Christmas.
Right.
You know, with him, I don't want to go into a new year. The following year would have been 7 years, which is the number of completion.
Ooh, yes.
I'm not completing this cycle with him. Like, I'm done. So I started planning. 12/1/21. That day reads the same forwards and backwards.
Yes.
But that's my freedom. I got my tattoo, freedom.
Yeah.
I have that day tattooed up. That's
and
my
then
freedom day.
I love the original Freedom Day. So we'll talk about that.
Freedom. Yes. That was my freedom day.
And look, that's crazy. Look, that 12 one. She don't have the old one, but I bet you guys, this is where it gets juicy because she planned it out so well to the point where how she left him. And this story is like trending all over social media. The Great Escape on how she left him. And I'll play the little video. I'll play it in the corner so y'all can see the expression that was done when she left him completely. So Felicia, tell the people, how did you leave him? How was he able to just fall?
When we moved there, we were in a 3,200 square foot house. Ooh. And so it was me, him, and his son at the time, 4 bedrooms, huge, beautiful house. When his son went back, it was just me and him. And honestly, I stayed in that marriage far longer than I should have for his son. Because I knew if I would have left him while his son was in high school, he would have been any good for his son. So essentially, I stayed in the marriage longer than I should have for someone else's child. So I don't regret it.
So can a narcissist raise a child?
They can. Yeah, they can. It's difficult. It's hard.
Do they put a lot of their ways, the same ways that they're putting into the relationship, into the child, or is it different?
So either the child is going to gravitate towards it and be how they are, be how the narcissist is, or they're going to be the total opposite.
Wow.
So
that's interesting, you guys. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm controlling my spouse, and now I got to raise children, and I'm a narcissist.
Mm-hmm. I went back to California, and it was just me and him in his house, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Right. So I started planning. I remember I texted my brother. I didn't give him any information. I just said, I'm leaving him on this date. I need you to come out here. I didn't even have a plan. I just knew that I had to leave. And I called one of his cousins to see if he can come on that date, you know, to see, because I wanted it to be fair. Right. Somebody from each side. Nobody is trying to, you know what I'm saying, do nothing crazy. You have, one person from each side. So yeah, so I ended up getting my brother a plane ticket to come out there for 12/1/21. I didn't know how I was going to do it at the time. It was just, I knew I needed to do it. Right. And so once I kind of relaxed a little bit and I thought about it, I said, okay. I knew I had been to the dentist's office and I knew it had took me 2 hours because I was new and they were really thorough. Right. So I said, okay, let's start making a dentist appointment. I said, it's going to be about 2 hours. I was like, all right. So we were in the 3,200 square foot house. Once the son went back, I was like, you know what? I said, we need to, just get into a 1-bedroom. We could save some money, buy a house. And, you know what I'm saying? That's it. So he agreed. Okay. I'm like, okay, cool, bet. Right? Yeah. So we agreed. I sold everything in the house. The only thing I kept was our bedroom set, like a recliner couch, and that was it. So I had 2 storages. One he knew about and one he didn't know about. Okay. So I sold everything in the house. Everything was gone. So as I'm selling stuff, I know what I'm doing. So I'm packing stuff. He's packing stuff. And so I told him, do not touch any of my boxes. You know, don't pack any of my stuff because I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff. But in actuality, I was taking stuff to my new apartment that he didn't know anything about. So, and I marked the boxes on what was going to my new apartment and what was going to be going to storage so I could know how they were going onto the truck. So the people who were coming to help me, they knew, okay, put this stuff on first, put this stuff on.
They understood the assignment.
So, so my daughter came down for Thanksgiving. We were in Houston, and that morning of 12/1/21, I got up. We went and got the U-Haul, parked it around the corner, came in the house, as if nothing was happening, So he was getting ready for his dentist. He had a car, but I made sure that I dropped him off because I didn't want him to have a fast way back. So, we got everything out in probably about an hour and a half. And he called me and he said, I'm ready. I said, okay. I said, I got to take my daughter to the airport. I said, I'm going to need to call you an Uber or a Lyft.
Right.
He said, okay, it's right around the corner from the house. I can walk. I'm like, you sure? He was like, yeah. I'm like, all right, bet. I told him, I'm like, we gotta go, y'all. It's almost done. It's time to go. Closed that U-Haul, drove off. And that's when I got to that corner of the video where I started recording, something just told me, just record this moment.
Yep.
It wasn't planned. I didn't know what I was going to say, but when I started recording, the first thing that just came to my mind, because I knew it, I was fucking free.
Yes, when I played video.
And you can see my god sister in the truck behind me. You can see my daughter
in
the corner.
Because the rearview mirror, and it was like the way it was filmed.
And it was like, something just told me, record this.
Right.
And it was at that moment, it was so much relief.
Right.
That was lifted off of me because I knew I was never going back.
Right.
I knew I was never going back. That was it. I was fucking free.
Right.
And so I got to my new apartment and I was like, that was it. That was it. I never had a moment to where I regretted or I was like, did I do the right thing? I knew it. I knew I was doing the right thing.
Right. Well, I mean, you went through it for so long, 7 years. So it's like now enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fat meat
is greasy. Yes, I had to prove to him that fat meat was greasy. So when he got back home, so I left a box in the middle of the floor, and it had our wedding pictures. It had like his kids' important information, birth certificates, all that type of stuff. I left him $2,000 in cash. I applied for 3 credit cards in his name. 2 I left him. 1 I kept just in case he would have tore up the house. Right. Because I didn't know. You never know what a person will do once their back is up against the wall. Like, I'm not coming out the pocket for none of this.
Right.
So I left all of that. I already had a pre-populated text message. So when he got home, he did not notice that none of the stuff was gone. The only thing that he noticed that was missing was my truck key off of his key ring. There's a box sitting here on the floor with wedding pictures, with a Bank of America envelope with cash in it, with like the only thing that you notice is my truck key is missing off of your key ring. So he sent me a text message to ask me why.
If that ain't twisted, y'all, I don't know what is. I would have been like, what is this cash doing here?
Right.
What is this box? Why'd you get this box? Where's all the furniture at?
So the furniture, all of that was gone, but just like the boxes, like I had my work table. It was like the house. I mean, I took my stuff. I took my half. So we had a business together. I took my half, and I left him half of the business so he could have continued to make money, do whatever it is that he needed to do. My thing was he was in Texas. He didn't have family there. I had family there. Right. So even though I was in the situation that I was in, I still didn't leave him high and dry.
She's still being nurturing.
I mean, I really, like, anybody else would have just said, screw you.
Yes.
But I mean, I made sure that he was good.
Yes.
So he sent me a text message, and I already had the text message pre-populated in my notepad, and I just copied it and pasted it into the text message. And then I tried to block him, but I guess he read the first part of the text message, and then he tried to call me. So 1 voicemail got through before I blocked him, and he was in a panic. Yeah, he didn't understand. I don't understand. I just went to the dentist and I'm on some. I'm gonna come home and you ain't gonna be there type shit. Yeah. Listen.
Right.
And I started my text message off was, I've been telling you, but you didn't listen. Men, you have to listen. If a woman is telling you that she is not happy, please listen. No, nobody else can tell you how to be happy or make you be happy. But If she's not like, fix it.
Fix
At
it.
least try. Like, hear her out. Like, just don't be so stuck in your ways to where it's like, screw whatever she's talking about. It is what it is.
Fix it.
At least try. I mean,
right.
And be genuine about the try. Don't just try just because of what she's saying.
Right. And vice versa.
Yeah.
Women, listen to your man.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So that was that. So I moved into my apartment and I was happy.
Oh.
So that was 12/1/21. So January I filed for divorce.
Okay.
So my job actually paid for my divorce.
Hello.
My job paid for my divorce. So I remember I went to my attorney, and so the only portion that I had to pay for was the process server fee, which was $500. So I'm in my attorney's office. And I'm like, I'm not coming out of the pocket for nothing.
Right, right.
So I sent him a text message. I knew that he would do anything to get back in my good graces. Right. So I sent him a text message and I said, do you have $500 or anything like that you can help me with? That $500 came through so fast. And I said, okay, so where do you want me to send this money? She said, what did you do? And I just laughed and I told her, she said, oh my God. Like, no,
you just made the process so much easy.
Mm-hmm. So I sent her the money and that was it. So, but I will never forget the day when it was time for him to be served. I called him and I said, I need you to meet me. He liked 1,000 Degree Pizza. It was in Texas. That was his favorite place. So I said, can you meet me, here on whatever date it was? I said, so I can give you the rest of the stuff that you left in the storage. So he said, okay, cool. So I told him 6 o'clock. So I'm sitting there, 6:15 rolled around, and I hadn't heard from anybody. So I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? So I called my attorney. I'm like, what's going on? Like, did the process server? Did he serve me?
Right,
what?
right.
She's like, let me call. So I said, okay. So then she calls me back. She said, he's not getting out the car. She said, he's parked there. He sees him, but he's not getting out the car. I said, what do you mean he's not getting out the car? She said, he's not getting out the car. Right before I know, what the fuck you mean he's not getting out the car? Yeah. So she said, okay, let me call the process server back. So then she called me back. She said, we think that he's waiting on you to pull up.
Yep. He probably was like, where Felicia? Oh my God, I miss my wife. Where's she at? I just gave her $500. I want to see her.
He was waiting on me to pull up. So I texted him. I said, I got stuck on a work meeting. I said, can you just go in and order the pizza?
Right.
I'm coming down the street. He said, well, it only takes 2 minutes for it to be ready. I said, can you just go in and order the pizza? I'm almost there.
Right.
As soon as he got out the car, the process server served him. So he called me and he left me a voicemail. Why do you keep doing this to me? I'm not doing anything to you. Like, sir, I told you it was over. Like, you didn't listen. Mm-hmm. So he sent me a picture. He had a vase with some beautiful flowers strapped into the seat. But you didn't give me that when we were in a good space.
Right.
You withheld that from me. You knew what I liked and you withheld that from me. So now you're here with these flowers. And let me go back. I remember I got a phone call from my UPS store and they said you have a delivery. So I walk into the UPS store and it is a bouquet of beautiful red roses and a candle. Now, I like to burn candles. I like to burn incense. He had asthma. He said that bothered him. So basically, everything that I liked, he stripped me from. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So now you have these flowers that I love, and you have this candle. Right? So I'm like, okay, walked into the UPS store. I was so mad. I said the whole damn store smelled like a funeral home. Right?
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, so after that, he was served, and that was it. So in Texas, the way that the paperwork is written, it says you have until it's 30 days from the first Monday or something like that from which you were served to contest. So if you don't contest within those 30 days, that means that you agree with this.
Oh.
In California, it lingers on.
They prolong with it.
It lingers on.
Yeah, it can go on for months.
Mm-hmm. Texas, they don't do that. If you do not respond within a certain amount of time, we assume that you agree with this divorce, and that's what it is. I think I had probably one of the fastest divorces. I was divorced in 2 months.
Yes, girl. April, her final freedom day.
Yes, April. And I took myself on a solo cruise.
So her first freedom day, just getting away from the environment, being in her own environment, December 1st, 21. Her final freedom day from the paperwork, everything is legalized. You can no longer say, I'm your property, I'm your wife,
He didn't believe that.
He didn't believe that?
No, he didn't believe that we were divorced.
Do they send you something?
So they sent it to him. They sent it to him to the address that I had on file, which was his uncle's address. So you know, I had to email him the paperwork. Sir, we are divorced. I am no longer your wife.
So when did he finally get it in his head that it was true?
When I emailed him the papers. When he saw it in writing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, that was his fault. He had time to test it and do what he had to do.
So, but let me go back. So when we moved to Texas, he met a friend, and so our kids, my bonus son, they played baseball together.
Okay.
And so his wife had kind of left him a few months prior to us moving there, but she had little kids, so it didn't last long. So they went through marriage counseling and the whole nine, and he actually gifted us 4 therapy sessions. So I agree. So he texted me one day. He said, you know, such and such, you know, gifted us 4 therapy sessions. This was after I left. He gifted us 4 therapy sessions. Are you willing to go? Sure, I'll go.
Oh, so this is during the before the finalize, right? Or is it okay? Yeah. Okay.
So I said, sure, I'll go. You know, so it was on Zoom. This was the first time he saw my face since I left. So it was a husband and wife therapist, a marriage counselor. And so when she came on, she said, okay, Miss Carr, she said, we're going to start with you. She said, what are you looking to get out of this therapy session? I looked straight in that camera. And I said, I'm not looking to get anything out of this therapy session, but I need you guys to help him realize that this marriage is over. Woo! Waterworks immediately. You didn't listen.
So what did he do then? Like after
Waterworks, he started crying.
Is that part of a symptom that they have? So he started crying because he thought that someone would feel sorry for him, or
that's a technique that they use.
Did he ever do that
all the time?
Oh my God! So did you just like, okay, bye, hang up, or
no? I still went through the hour zone. Hey, we here. Listen, you can't. It's nothing you can say that's gonna change my mind. This is what it is. But you know, I will continue with this. You know, so he said his piece, I said mine, and so after that, I was just like, you know, at the end, I told them both. I said, you know, I said I will not be, you know, attending any more sessions. I said, but my suggestion is maybe he needs to take the next 3 sessions with just the husband alone to kind of figure out life.
Do you think he did that, or
no, he didn't? No, he didn't.
After that, did he ever try to reach back out to you?
He did a couple times. So I'm deathly afraid of the water. I can't swim the whole 9. So I remember he reached out to me and asked me. He tried to bribe me. This was, I believe, in like June or July. So he had got a new job. And so I guess his coworkers didn't know that he was no longer married.
Oh, wow.
And so he asked me if I wanted to go, if I could go with him on some trip that his coworkers, like a weekend on the water, a boat on the water.
A weekend?
Yeah, sir, are you trying to kill me? Like, are you out your damn mind? He's like, you know, I won't touch you, won't be. Listen, I'm like, I was like, are you crazy? No, I'm just trying to get my wife back. That's when it was, when he still didn't believe that we were divorced. No, I'm just trying to get my wife back. Sir, I'm not your wife. Like, we are divorced.
Right.
And so after that, he finally get
out the head.
But they're used to that. They're used to saying one thing and just doing the total opposite, or they're used to saying whatever it is in that moment.
Right.
And just reneging on it, or just, you know, I didn't mean it, or no. Like,
Right. Do you think that the hardest part in it all was probably the kids that you helped him raise, being that you all were so close?
Well, I was closer to the boys than I were to the girls, because I mean, in any relationship, it's gonna be split.
Right.
So, you know, the relationship between him and his kid's mother, which was his ex-wife as well, and I found out she had to leave him in the same manner. Right. So, I mean, you know, I understood it, because the girls are normally going to go with the dad.
Right.
You know, so, but the boys, they lived with us the longest.
Right.
So his youngest son, I did have the closest relationship with him. And like I say, with him, I stayed in that marriage far longer than I should have for his youngest son, because I knew that he wouldn't be any good for his son if I would have left.
Right.
And I was really trying to get him through high school. So I ended up leaving in I believe it was his 10th grade year.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Felicia did her part. She did her part. She stayed for as long as she could. She still served and was submissive and did what she had to do. Kudos, though, for leaving, because a lot of women are afraid to leave, or they just don't have the courage to leave. A lot of women, they feel like some of them don't even have jobs.
And
So
that a
it's
lot of
finances,
narcissists and people who and a lot of abusers will strip you of everything. They don't want you to work. They don't want you to be independent. They don't want you to have a life. They want you to be solely dependent upon them so they can control you.
Wow.
So I just always say that I am so thankful for me having the means and the mindset that I had and able to in order to do it the way that I did it. Because there are so many women that are still stuck in abusive relationships because they don't have a job, they don't have any money, they don't have any skills, they can't drive, like, so they're dependent on their abuser.
Right.
And so when people say, ask people, why did it take you so long to leave? Like, don't ever ask somebody that. Just be thankful that they got out.
That they got out.
Yeah,
There's no time.
Right.
Because her book also talks about leaving safety. Mm-hmm. Some people can get killed over it. We saw it on social media with that guy that was mentally, and his girl kept talking, and they kept going back and forth on the live video. And
I have a really good friend who was murdered by her husband, and we knew that he did it, and we had to sit on it for 2 years before he was finally arrested. We knew he did it, but everybody, like, there's so many women that don't make it out alive. So that's why I always say, if you're going to do it in silence. Be strategic about it. That's why I put in the back of my book tips and tricks on how to do it so you can live to tell about it. Because some of these men, they're not playing. They're not playing. Yeah, and the term "love you to death" can come true. Love you to death.
Wow. It's just amazing to hear her story, her resilience, how she came up out of it. She's here teaching other women. Let's start off with the healing circle.
So first, it started with the circle on Facebook, which is an all women's group. And I started that circle when I was going through the leaving process because I really thought I was the only woman that was going through what I was going through. Right. And once I left and I started opening up and talking to other women, I realized that there were so many other women that were out there going through the exact same thing that I was going through, but they didn't talk about it in fear of judgment. Women are very catty. Just women can be really mean. I mean, people can be just really mean when you're in that situation. The first thing, was it really that bad? It was that bad for me. Right. Just because your boundaries maybe a lot less than mine. Yeah, it was that bad for me. Right. And then so I started the women's circle, the circle, which is on Facebook, an all women's group, and then I started a nonprofit called the Healing Circle. Okay. So now what I do is I help women who are trying to leave abusive relationships leave. So
and the proceeds of this book when you write it. Yes. And that's really awesome because some women, like we say, can't financially leave because they're stuck. The man is in control. He's the one that's going to work, making the money while she's at home taking care of the kids or, a housewife and doing the other stuff around the house but can't leave. That this book, the proceeds, help women like that. And Felicia has helped so many. I see your stories, how women that you just gravitate towards, they come up to you, you don't even know them from a can of paint, and they go through the same thing. So far, I have helped 3 women successfully escape an abusive relationship. This one young lady, she had 2 kids, and her boyfriend threw a Molotov cocktail through her window. She didn't even know that her house was on fire. The neighbors came and banged on her window. And she found me through someone else on social media who had been following my story and reached out to me. I ended up linking up with her. And she had family in another state. And I remember I got up one morning, I met her and her kids at Denny's. I, sat down and I had breakfast with them, gave her some money, put gas in her car, and she drove from Texas to the state that she was going to be with her grandmother. And I told her, whenever you need some gas, call me, text me, and I'll send it to her. I'll make sure she got back safely. So, and she's thriving. There was another young lady that I helped leave. This man beat her so viciously that she had a 2-year-old son by him, and he was potty trained. But from him watching what his mother went through, he would just pee on himself. Because of the nervousness. He beat her so savagely that the police gave her a escort an hour out of Houston. So they followed her for an hour until she was able to, get out, and she went to her family, and she's good. And I have another young lady that I'm still working with. So that's a whole nother story. Felicia out here doing miracles, y'all. Yes. So how many stories do you think actually go back before they've just like, I'm done?
Most women, it takes 7 to 10 times before they finally say, this is it. And I always tell women, if you're trying to leave, you have to go no contact because they will tell you everything that they want you to hear to get you back.
Do you think it gets worse when they go back?
It absolutely gets worse. The young lady, when she came to my house, when she went back, I told her, I said, he's going to beat your ass when he gets you back. And because she was, she looked at me, she said, "Are you scared?" No, she said, "Do you think I'm dumb?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't think you're dumb." I said, right. And she said, "Are you scared for me?" I said, "Absolutely, I'm scared for you."
Right, right.
And he started beating on her before they even got out the state of Texas. He drove 12 hours to come get her. Mm-hmm. And he started in on her before they even got out of Texas.
This is crazy. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to touch on your mental health before I touch on the journal. So, understanding mental health, do you think that's a big part on both sides?
Absolutely. So, well, the reason why I wrote the book, Understanding Mental Health, is because, mental health runs rampant within everybody. But right. A lot of people just don't want to, admit to it.
Right.
Bipolar, schizophrenic, manic depressant. A lot of people don't even know that narcissist, NPD, narcissist personality disorder, is actually a disorder. So it's just, it's for awareness. It's just to teach you about it, especially right. in the African American community. Nobody wants to talk about suicide. Nobody wants to talk about therapy. Nobody wants to talk about anything that may kind of make them feel uncomfortable.
Right, right.
So that was the purpose of me writing Understanding Mental Health.
And she actually had a workshop that was out here in the Bay Area, in Oakland.
It was very successful.
Yes, and they talked about it. And then you had people on a panel telling their stories.
I had therapists. I had survivors. Yes.
Oh, my God. Yep. So she's helping everybody.
I'm trying to do my part.
All around. And to even keep up with your journaling.
Yes.
Because sometimes it helps to write it down. I'm a visual person. So if I don't see it, then I'm not going to complete it or have a goal for it. But if I'm actually seeing it, I can look back. Like, for instance, you can put the day and it says, "Forget that. I let him choose when I was worthy." That's deep, you guys. And then it says, "Free me." And it says, "What parts of yourself did you trade in for validation and are ready to take them back?" And you just write it down. This is almost like a diary. Mm-hmm. You just, each day, if it helps you to just go through it and write it down, and then who knows, by the time you get to the end of the book and you start realizing everything that you wrote down and everything that you need to do, it may cause you to do it.
So I say the difference between this journal and any other journal that's out there, it really makes you think. A lot of journals, they just have you just write what your thoughts is. But this asks thought-provoking questions like, what mind frame were you in when you were in this relationship? And then it gives you the perspective of the mind frame that you're in once you leave. The free me, the free version of me. So
sometimes you got to write it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to understand it.
Like I said, I actually had one young lady. She told me, she said, if I would have had this journal before I did counseling, she said it would have saved me 6 months of counseling. Because it's hard questions in there.
Yeah, because I was even going through it and I was like, dang,
it really it's some hard questions that really make you think. Like it's not an easy read. It's gonna really make you be like, dang.
And she talks about this journal before you trap. Like she tells you. And it's like, it makes you think. It's just not some easy question. Mm-hmm. Oh, how did you feel? Right. What happened? How do you feel now? No, it's thought into it. Yeah. Y'all need to go on Amazon. Y'all got to get y'all 3 books. Yes. On Amazon, I'm going to have the links down below. And they're reasonable. They're reasonable. I think they're under $20.
$21.99. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Come on, you guys. What
and like I said, a proceed of the portion goes to help women who are trying to leave.
And we're trying to help these women survive. Be a survivor. Her resilience is so high, you guys. I'm so proud of Felicia. We've been knowing each other for like 20 years. We met at AT&T.
Yeah. It's so crazy because that video that I posted on Instagram, it has 8.6 million views. If you go back and look through some of the comments, there are so many women in there that are sharing their stories of how they left, how their mothers left, how some people, children, wishing their mothers would have had that courage to leave. And a lot of people don't realize that once you stay in an abusive relationship and you have kids, you can potentially ruin your child's life.
Yep.
And even though my daughter was grown, but I still knew she was watching me.
Right.
I still knew she was watching. You know?
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh my God. She's probably so proud of you right now. Oh my God. Before we end this, do you have anything that you want to tell the audience that may be looking, if they're looking to get help, if they want to reach out to you?
Absolutely. So I'm on all social medias under Felicia Fee Carr. I have my nonprofit is thehealingcircleorg.com. Like I said, a portion of each book sale goes to help a woman who is trying to leave an abusive relationship. I answer my phone 24/7. So if it's just advice, I'm here. Just know that you are enough. Know that you are worthy. And just know that it's going to be okay. But you have to have it made up in your mind as to when you're ready. Because I tell people all the time, it's not going to happen until you're ready. And that's why sometimes 7 to 10 times before it's successfully done, you have to be ready. And you have to be tired of being tired. Right. And that's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Fat meat is greasy, y'all.
Show. Have to pop out and show.
She said, I ain't gonna talk about it, but I can show you better than I can tell you. Bam, there it is. Wow, Felicia, like, you're amazing because you're helping out so many people. Oh my God. I'm telling y'all, like, I read all these women. All these women, like, have stories. And some of them in there, I'm like, what?
What was it, Pastor Nono?
Yes.
Pastor Nono was a fool. Pastor Nono need his.
That was the one that was going with the girl, right?
He was trying to hook up with the
daughter's friend.
Yes. With the daughter's friend. Yes. Yes.
But I loved how her mother was on her way to work, like working for HR, and had a busy day. And her daughter called and said she needed her, and she dropped everything to go see what her daughter needed. And that's a mother. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's so many people out here just messing over good people. I mean, it's like I said, men and women both can be narcissists. It's, right. It's sad.
So if you know somebody that's going through this and you just didn't know what to tell them, and you're looking at this podcast and now you know what to tell them, at least direct them to Felicia. If they don't want to reach out to Felicia, direct them to, get either one of these books to read. Because at the end of the day, it's all about understanding their mental health and the person that they're with.
Absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely.
So, we have it here. Any last words?
No, I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
So, I interviewed Felicia, was it 2 years ago?
I think 3. It was right after I left.
Yes. And it's crazy because it was in September.
Was it?
I want to say it was like September or something around there.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and you was coming out here to visit, and you came over here. And it was the last minute. I just hit her up, and she was like, well, I'm going to be in the Bay Area. I'm only going to be there for a certain amount of time, but yeah, I'll do it. And she dropped everything and came through, just like today. She came through again. I'm like, oh, yeah, girl, because now you got 3 books out. You got a business out. You helping all these women, like, come through. We got to do this. Yes. But yes,
I did want to say one more thing before I leave. A lot of men have this thought in their mind that I hate men. And that's so far from the truth. I do not like abusive men. And I mean, that's it. I don't like abusive men. I love men. I love men. I have men in my life that I love. It's not anything to do with men. I don't like abusive men. That's it. That's it.
She grew up with 3 brothers. Right. So why would she like? And she's
I'm never giving up on men.
So we're not pinpointing it on one gender. It can be either or, but it's just so happened her situation. That's just that. Just telling her story. She's letting her voice be heard. Who wouldn't want to let their voice be heard and it helps someone else out there that wants their voice to be heard? And you never know. A man can probably contact her.
Yeah. So my part 2 of the I Survived My Dark will have stories from men who have dealt with narcissist women as well. So yes.
So there you go. Proof she doesn't hate men.
Yes, absolutely.
Men are reaching out to her, asking her how they can be the great escape of it all. Leave their wives at the dentist. Well.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. There are women who are physically abusive to men.
Yep. Yeah. And provoke them.
Yes.
To be the way that they are.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So
we're not just saying it's just one gender.
Right.
It's both genders.
It's both.
But at the end of the day, it's just Felicia's telling her story.
I said he should have gave me a better story to tell.
Exactly. Yes. She says she has part 2 coming out too with men stories in there.
Especially men who have girls. Please, men, teach your girls about abusive men. Like, stop trying to think just because they see you and they see how you are. No, please teach your daughters. Please teach them about abusive men. Right. If you don't do anything else, just teach them what red flags is. Like I said, I was never taught as a child what a red flag was. I was never taught what to look out for. Please, men, get into your daughters' lives and teach them.
And it's funny you say that, because I think back in our era, our parents didn't really talk to us about that.
Because they didn't know.
No.
You don't know what you don't know until you know.
Yep.
And no more suffering in silence.
Yes, please. Let your voice be heard.
Yes. And that's the main reason why I tell my story, why I share my story. Because like I said, I suffered in silence for years. And there are so many other women that are suffering in silence because they feel like nobody can relate or nobody will understand them. When it comes to narcissism, you can only talk to a select few people, a select amount of people about it. Meaning you can only talk to somebody who has dealt with it. Because if you talk to someone who has never dealt with it, they're going to make you feel like you're crazy too.
Right.
You know, was it really that bad? Or was it this? Or was it? Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I try to put the blame on you, but maybe it was her. Maybe it wasn't him. And yeah, so like I said, if you guys got questions, hit up Felicia. She gave you all her social media information. I'll also link it down below. You can also comment on this video. And yeah, I'll get it over to her and we'll just go from there. But remember, you guys, you have to buy the books. And I'm going to have her sign the two. Look, these two I need to have her sign. She signed this one. Yes, it's these two she has to sign. And I want to thank you guys for watching. And please do me a favor, because it's free. So if you've been watching this video and you got this far, I want you to click on that thumbs up, which is right there in the left-hand corner. I also want you to hit that subscribe button. That should be to the right of the corner. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And then I want you to share this video with someone that you think that needs to hear this. And if you don't know of anybody that needs to hear this, just share it with whoever is on your heart to share it with, because that person may know somebody that they need to share this video with. Okay, so that's all I have to say. Felicia,
that's it.
That's it. So we check it out, y'all. Thank you for watching.